Hello, everyone. My name is Selcuk Alemdar, and I am a professional real estate investor. And me and Cheddy, we're getting together every week, and we were trying to inform new beginners of the real estate investors. So we started this podcast a couple weeks ago, and then we would like to have you join us. And when we're doing this, and we have a really good experience from the professionals, real professionals. We consider ourselves professionals, obviously, but we're talking to some other professionals to inform you guys as real estate investors, especially for the new beginners. And for today, so we're going to discuss a couple things. And what you got, Cheddy, on your plate today?
Today is going to be drum roll. It is going to be individual, if you want to call it that, single family real estate versus multifamily real estate investing. What is the difference?
Okay.
What are the pros and cons? Let's just talk about it because we don't talk about that enough. But what's the difference? And
yeah,
I can tell you. Let me start by telling you a story when I bought my first house. So some of you know, some of you don't know. I was a U.S. Marine, and I bought my first house, believe it or not, on 9/11. Well, let's just say this: my spouse, my wife, she closed for me because I was busy that day. So she did all the closing. So we're in our first house, lovely house, beautiful house, actually, really a fun place in Virginia. All of a sudden, I get orders. So I got to go overseas. Well, at that point, you're going to figure out, well, we just bought this house. What do we do? So we're like, let's rent it out. So I'm going to rent out this house, which is great. And it was actually awesome. We were thousands of miles away, 12 hours away. So we realized we can't manage this. Let's hire a property manager, give them the rules. These are what we expect. And it was awesome. We had a great tenant who was actually a real estate agent, and they were very on it. There was something that needed to be fixed. They'd let you know. It was great, awesome and amazing. Until it wasn't. Until the property manager wasn't doing what we told them to do. Until they weren't fixing the things we were paying for. We had to get friends to go and check on the house because things weren't happening the way it was supposed to happen. And then the person moved out, and you go from 100% occupancy, you've hit on this before, to 0% occupancy overnight. It's binary. It was like either you're hot or you're not.
I know.
And I remember when that revenue wasn't coming, that income wasn't coming in anymore. It was like, oh wow, that was a hit. I felt that.
Yeah.
And I love this industry. And you want to find a way to, how would you say this? To manage, mitigate, hedge your risk. And one of the best ways to do that is to have more than one unit, i.e. multifamily units. So call me crazy. I think it's great, but Selchuk's going to give you more details on it. I just want to let you know the good, bad, and the ugly. And all stories aren't bad, but you want to know both sides before you can make an informed decision, pros and cons on both ends of that. Selchuk, back to you.
Yeah. So, well, we can talk all about that, and just that could be your experience. One of the couple items that I can discuss it today, and you're really right. It's just like one unit versus multiple units. It mitigates, it's lower the risk, and then we're just going to talk about it. Then I can talk about a few different items with what would be the difference, and then I can start with one of them if you want to right now.
I bet you I have one.
First of all, first of all, let's define what is single family home. What is multi-family property? So it's a single family home. Basically, it's just a standalone residential property that builds for a single family or household. That is a single family home, right? And the multifamily is a group of buildings that contains multiple separate housing units. That's it.
Yes.
Which we call it apartment complexes today, right? So,
of course,
when we want to rent the units, and mostly, you go into apartment complexes. There's a condominium also. That's a different topic for another day. So that's what are the definitions of them.
Yes.
and we can discuss a few different points, to compare with them. So the big one is the first one is the financing, and
Yes.
so on the financing, let's say you're an investor, you want to invest, you're trying to make a decision which way you want to go. So let's take the
Yes.
financing, the point of it. So when you are, let's say, a single family investor and you're primarily using residential loans. So uh, just one difference, residential loans and up to fourplex lenders still treats your property like a single family home. Like you
Absolutely.
cannot get the commercial loans until you reach the 5 units or more.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and what does it mean? So when you want a residential loans, most of us have applied maybe until this age, whatever, and then just it is like your ability to get a loan is tied up to your personal income, your personal credit, your debt to income ratio.
Yes.
And the bank is looking at you to pay back that loan. And then after about for residential loans, and you'll hit a wall with the most conventional lenders. So let's break down what it means. So when you're starting out, your first four properties up to fourplex still are relatively easy to finance with conventional mortgages. So thanks to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, by the way. And once you get the five properties, and the rules get much stricter, and you'll need a higher credit score, stronger financial reserves, and you might have to put at least 25% down now, or sometimes even 30%. And your interest rates might also start to creep up a little bit just because the risk is getting higher for the lender perspective. And then the all of those mortgages, even the properties are cash flowing and count against your personal debt to income ratio. So making it harder and harder to qualify for the new loans. And once another thing is once you hit the 10 finance properties and then conventional loan opportunities is off for you. So you cannot go more than 10 on those type
Yeah.
of loans, residential loans. So now let's talk about the multifamily, financing ability. So again, when you buy a property with 5 units or more, you're stepping into the world of commercial financing. So the game completely changes. The loan is primarily based on the property itself, specifically its income potential. And the bank's main question isn't like, can you afford this? It's, can the property's income support the debt? So
I
basically,
hope
this
everyone got what
opens
you
up a
said.
world of possibilities.
What you said, Selchuk, is very important. I think hope people grasp what you said. When you have a residential property, they're looking at your personal credit because you're the one backing the loan based on your financial
Yep.
strength. Let's just call it financial strength for
Mhm.
now, on your ability to pay off and pay back that loan. When you start dealing in the commercial world, it's the
Mhm.
potential of the property. How much
Yeah.
revenue, how much income can this property produce? And you get
Mhm.
credit based on that. So even though it's a
Mhm.
bigger number, it's not all borne upon you. It can actually,
Yeah.
some of that burden is on based on the fact that there's 100 units. Well, 100 units at
Mhm. Mhm.
$1,000 per month equals a certain amount of money, $100,000 per month. Well, that's enough to
Yeah.
cover the, I'm just throwing out random numbers. Don't quote me on any numbers. Just throwing out numbers. Not a financial provider, not a lawyer, but an accountant.
Mhm.
However,
Mhm.
if you have to pay back, let's say $30,000 a month, well, you're making $100,000 per month on that property. So that might be
Yeah.
feasible, might be doable. And those numbers are just thrown out there. So those are just numbers because they're round numbers. I used 100,000, you know, so that was easy. But think about that. The
Yeah.
property can
Yeah.
sustain, you can get money based on what the property can sustain. And that's before you do
Exactly.
anything to
Yeah.
the property. So back to you, Selchuk.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, on top of that, you can get more favorable terms as well, like interest-only periods.
Yeah.
So, which can be huge for your cash flow in the early years, and especially if you're interested in a property that has a bigger repair or upgrade list. in order to get forced appreciation, we call it. We're going to talk about that in a minute. So then, so basically, you got some leverage to start with too, in order to take advantage of the interest-only loans. So these are the big differences on the financing side. And to me, it's multifamily. One of the big reasons is family way to go. So on that,
Absolutely.
and after this, we can step into our second point, which is the scalability, right? So it's really related to the financing scalability and all that. So, and with single family homes, every time you want to add a new property or portfolio, it's a whole new deal. So it's a new search. Finding a single feasible deal is one of the hardest parts of the real estate investing period. So you have to analyze dozens of, or even hundreds of properties sometimes. I've done it myself, I know, to find the good one. We're talking about shifting through MLS listings and broker emails and off-market contacts and all that. So, but once you find it, so you have to deal with the competition. So it's not you on the market. Everybody who's interested in this on the market, and this high demand drives up the prices, and then the bidding wars make it tough to get a good deal. So also new negotiation, you have to worry about the numbers. Does the rent actually pencils after all the expenses, especially with the rising interest rate these days? It kills the deals. Mostly, 80, 90% of the deals, it's been killed just by the rising interest rates. So, and then you have to consider the location and the market risk, and finding a good neighborhood is not too nice. It's like a low yield, but not the rough ones that makes the higher vacancies and all that. So it's a time-sensitive process. It's like almost like a full-time job.
Yeah.
And then let's say the seller accepted your offer. It's a new application now, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a new closing just for one unit. It's that's where all the headaches begin. So, and it's just like a very heavy documentation requirements, your tax return, personal, your W-2s and bank statements, employment verification, you need a higher credit score, and, lender will like a look into your debt to income ratio, even if the property is cash flowing. I said, that's the craziest thing. I mean, they often only count like a 75% of your rental income. Imagine that. And on multifamily, it doesn't do that way. It's 100%. So, and you're going to have, again, we just mentioned a second ago on the financing side, and you have to put like a 20, 25% down, sometimes more. And so, and the new big thing is appraisal, right? If the appraisal comes in low, then the whole thing falls apart at the last minute. So
yes, I've seen that.
This entire process is slow, taken for weeks and weeks and all that spot. But the thing is, you have to repeat all of these every time you're interested in another single family home investment. So, and with multifamily, almost with the same effort and effort, sometimes less as you buy a single family house. So you go through the same process and you put in a lot of efforts into it, but the outcomes is different, right? Yes. So we can find a 20-unit building just to secure one loan and close on just one property in a single day. You can add the 20 times, or if that's the case, 100 times the number of units you can add to your portfolio. So
Absolutely.
That's the really big major difference. It just this is just something like this. You're trying to build a business with one brick at a time versus like a buyer an entire warehouse, say, let's say, full of bricks and just a one go.
Makes sense.
And if your goal is to grow your portfolio quickly and efficiently, just there's no comparison, if you ask me
Absolutely.
on that
But
one.
Selchuk, I hear what you're saying. It sounds really good. I mean, you're making a valid case, but I'm looking at this house. It's like $730,000. I'm I'm struggling to get the 20% for that. You're telling me to go to 100-unit place? I'm not
Yeah,
gonna have the money for that. What's that gonna be like? $10 million, maybe? Like,
yeah,
where are you
yeah.
gonna get that from? I didn't have the 20% for
I
it. The
know
700,000.
that
So what are we talking?
that's a perfect question, and thank you asking me that question. So we're gonna in details. We're gonna discuss it in another podcast.
Oh,
But there's something like joint venture or syndication, and the methods to buy something like this that put in like a multiple the investors together and the go for the higher, bigger and bigger, right? So
wow.
yeah, there's a ways to do it. You don't have to do it by you shouldn't do it by yourself anyway. So that even you're able to do it, you should not do it by yourself because it's a teamwork.
Yes.
And then we're gonna discuss it on one of the next episodes, uh,
Beautiful.
how we can buy the multifamily together.
I
So
love that. That's leverage,
yeah,
people.
so
That's leverage.
okay, yeah, leverage. That's leverage. And let me get my the third point, which is let's compare the cash flow perspective on both, right?
Oh yeah.
So everyone wants cash flow, but the risk of losing it is it's a really big concern for any kind of investors. So with a single family home, your cash flow is like a two-way state. So either just like you pointed out a minute ago, either you're 100% vacant, you're getting, if you're lucky, you're getting some cash flow,
Yeah.
or you're like the tenant leaves and then you're 0% the occupancy, right? So,
Yes.
and it's all or nothing proposition.
Yes.
It's not this. I say this: a single family rental is like a business with only one customer. So
Yes.
if that customer leaves, your revenue is like gone instantly. So
Yeah.
the vacancy cost alone can be brutal, basically. And if you're netting, let's say, a few $100 profit, let's say it's $150, right? It's 1,800 a year. The 1 month of vacancy plus the cost of cleaning and repainting and
Yes.
relisting the unit and all that can easily cost you up to 3,000, sometimes 5,000, let's say. That
Exactly.
one vacancy, it just can wipe out an entire year's worth of profit and
Yeah.
put you in the red zone.
Yeah.
This is single family house, right? And this just like your tenants, just everyday people, they may lose their job and they get divorced, and it can impact your entire investment. So there's no cushion for the fall back on or anything like that. So, and to truly protect yourself, you have to own. If you're still inclining the single family homes, you have to have a multiple single family homes to protect yourself from that. They're all, but it comes out they're all in the different markets, and which brings you back to the scalability problem. It's all over, right? And we're going to talk about that in a second. One of the other items in my list. So let's talk about the returns, right?
Yeah.
And because multifamily investments have multiple income streams and benefit from it, like economies of scale on the expense side.
Yes.
And they often produce the significantly higher cash on cash returns than the single family homes.
Yeah.
A well run multifamily deal can deliver on an annual cash on cash return somewhere 5-6%, can go up to 9-10% if you got a good deal. And versus the single family homes, I mean, really, you can tie it up to maybe 2 to 4%. So,
Yep.
and the high return on your initial cash investment is a really powerful engine, and
Yes.
and that's the good way to building your wealth. So higher cash flow, and so I give you another example. Even a small rent bump, let's say $50 per unit, right, on the multifamily. So let's say you own like a 50-unit building, and that's an extra 2,500 a month, 30,000 a year. That is significantly increases your net operating income, meaning that your income minus expenses, that's net operating income. And then it bumps the property's value, because just keep in mind the multifamily properties value based on their income, right? And well, the single family home investment, it just $50 increase or $100 increase, let's say, it barely moves the needle. And then and so in a multifamily side, this predictable income stream makes lenders really comfortable, and so making it easier to if that's the case, you can pull even equity out of it. You can refinance and your multifamily investment. And if you have enough income, then you can take it out, right? And to do that in a single family home is extremely, extremely expensive, first of all, as far as the loan perspective. And just to get that the income, get higher and higher income, since it's hard, it makes the finances hard too. You have to wait
Absolutely.
like a really long time, maybe 10 years,
Yep.
sometimes 15 years. And then you go ahead and take
Equity. Yep.
equity out. But it's really longer time. It's just like, to me, it's not worth it. So
Yep.
that's, as far as the cash flow, that's the comparison, real quick comparison on both.
And it makes sense that you say that, because if you're investing, you're probably investing for a purpose or a goal, whether it's retirement, putting kids through college, enhancing or upgrading your lifestyle, whatever it may be. You have a reason why you're doing it. And that reason requires you to accumulate as much wealth as you possibly can during that investment
Mhm.
period. And hands down, bar none, multifamily real estate is going to beat single family real estate when it comes to investing, as far as return on that
Mhm.
initial
Mhm.
investment. Just the growth perspective, the growth potential is so much higher with multifamily. The risk is so much lower. The scary part is you're dealing with bigger numbers, you're dealing with more units. So the numbers are bigger, which is scary, but the risk is
Mhm.
lower, which should balance out that fear a little bit. So, and it's, you have to find out what your risk tolerance is and your fear tolerance. But if you're worried about somebody leaving, if you have 50 units and a person leaves, okay, all right, I'm at 94% residency income. I mean, 90,
Yep.
not even that. It's more than that. 98%, occupancy.
Mhm.
That's not that
Mhm.
bad.
Mhm.
If you have one unit, even if you have a duplex and one person moves out, or a fourplex, which could still be residential, one person moves out, you are now at
Got
75% occupancy.
75% occupancy.
I mean, it just goes down so low. And the less
So
than that,
yeah.
if it's a duplex, you're 50%. If it's one
Yeah.
house, you're at
Yeah.
zero. No money's
Mhm.
coming in. You are not accomplishing the goal that you set out to. The investment goal
Yeah.
is not being
Yeah.
accomplished. So just things to think
Yeah.
about. Just things to
Yeah.
think about.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, let's talk about the appreciation and demand perspective on both, right?
Oh yeah.
And so with the single family homes, and appreciation is based on the market comparables. So basically, you're at the mercy of the neighborhood and what other similar homes are selling for, and so you're really little control over it. And even if you upgrade the kitchen and bathroom and all that stuff, it's just like appraised value is tied to what your next door neighbor's house so far and all that. So your
Yes.
appreciation is almost entirely passive. So
Yes.
you have to wait for the local market to rise, just like I just talked about for longer time, like
Yes.
10 years and 15 years.
Oh yeah.
But on the multifamily side, though, the appreciation is a different because it's based on the property's income, right? And it's a huge distinction because no longer market driven anymore, it's income driven. So the value is the function of the net operating income and the market cap and all that stuff. So what does it mean? It means you, as the owner, have the power to force the appreciation. So since you have multiple units and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and you can raise raise the rents the market rates. So you have reduced expenses. We're going to talk about it in a second, how we can reduce, what's the leverage on the multifamily to reduce the expenses. Anyway, so you can reduce the expenses again by finding the better contracts and all that stuff. And you have like a lot of different the profit centers. So you can add like dog parks and a gym and storage units. You can charge extra. Powered parking spots, you can charge extra. Laundry facilities, if the units don't have a washer and dryer, it's extra. And so these days, people, again, so you can add like a little office and podcast spaces. And these days, some people inclined to work from home. We know that, right? Especially younger generation, which they're the biggest candidate for the apartment complex, to be a tenant, and they do a lot of things online and all those activities and such as podcasts we're doing. So they did all the different things. Just imagine they live in an apartment, but they need the quieter environment. They might have kids at home and all that stuff, and then they can use these spaces, paying some extra. So those are the different profit centers, and all increases net operating income and all that, and then your property values kind of going up and up.
What a
And
great way
the
to
one
add
in it,
value, though. Really, I
oh
mean,
yeah, that's what I'm
I'm gonna
saying.
just wanted to add that. What a great way to add value that is not the same when you talk about residential real estate. Because in single family real estate, if you add certain amenities, i.e., you add a pool, maybe you add a game room, those things may not necessarily, you may not recoup that money back. It may not add value to the
Mhm.
property because sometimes the things that you like in a house, the buyer doesn't want to pay for, doesn't care about it, doesn't like it, doesn't add the same value.
Exactly.
Whereas multifamily, that dog park means you can probably, people are going to like, I have pets. I want to have a place for my pets to enjoy, run around and
Yeah.
meet other pets. It may be a place where
Yeah.
people can be social, and it increases the quality of the community. So people are willing to pay more. Them paying more enables the value of that property to go up. And it's not
Mhm.
based on someone's preference. Well, I don't like pools. I don't really like a gym. I don't really care about a co-working space. Well, you may not, but these are all things that add
Of
value to the
course.
property, whether you like it or not, whether the neighbors have it or not, whether your competing property across town has it or not. So it's just something to think about when you talk about adding value to a property to get a better return.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're totally totally right. And then and again, in it, one unit and one tenant. Let's say I put like a hot tub there, right? So
Yeah,
if they're not like a hot tub people, they're not gonna care about what's extra. But if you have multiple the tenants, well, some might like it, and that's a good value for them. So
absolutely.
that's the simple explanation. But another point, the appreciation and the demand point is that, and it just it comes in when you want to sell your property, right? So you, let's say you made some appreciation on it and you want to turn it to cash now, or uh, take it to invest in the next one. So it just depends on who's going to sell, who's you're going to sell to. So the primary buyers of single family homes are usually individuals or families, and who often makes decisions based on the emotions and comps, right? And but the multifamily properties, especially those with more than 5 units, obviously, multiple units, more units is better. Attract professional real estate buyers, like real estate, the private investors and real estate funds. And these professionals are specifically on the market every single day. If you have a good appreciation, a good income, well, appreciation is for you, but if you have a good income currently, and those private and the professional buyers gonna call you and try to make a offer in a single day, you're not gonna have a hard time to buy, find the next investor. So that is a big difference too. So you're in this business to turn your money, with the good returns and make it like a cash and all that stuff. That's another big differences, and on the demand side.
Yeah.
And plus, there's another one important point that really underlooked is that the multifamily values are more resilient to market cycles too. So a downturn in the housing market can cause single family homes value to plummet to just nothing. Just like happened in 2008, if you remember.
I remember.
Right? You remember 2008, it wiped out years of appreciation and everything, but mostly the single family houses. And when the single family house, when they lose, let's say, a family, when they lose their single family houses, where are they going to go? They're going to go to multifamily to rent the unit. And then that increases the demand when home buying becomes unaffordable, and multi-family values are more stable, and it can even rise during the recessions as well. So this is like appreciation demand perspective comparison on both investments. These are the make a huge difference.
Exactly.
Yeah,
those are great points. You always come with the gems. I love when we speak because I always feel like I'm learning something when you speak. So thank you for this. I'm hoping that other people actually really took notes on this and really consider the differences, the pros and the cons. I'm not saying one's good and one's bad. I am saying they are different and you'll get different results from them. So know what they are, know what you want, and figure out which one is best for you. I know what my opinion is on that, but that's just my opinion. But you want to find out for yourself, based on your goals, which one is going to reduce your risk, increase your upside, increase the amount of revenue or income you can make from that property. Reduce your risk so that if something happens to a unit, you're not devastated, because you want to protect yourself. You want to make as much money as you can, but it's not what you make, it's what you keep. You want to make sure you protect and cover that hole in that leaky bucket. Make sure you can keep that money where you want it to go. So the way you do that is with having more options, so that if someone leaves a unit, you're still bringing in revenue. That only happens with multifamily real estate. The numbers are high. The numbers are scary. I get it. But just think about it. If you were going into the woods in the dark, it's scary by yourself. But if you have a bunch of people, it's less scary. I would say multifamily is the same way. If you're doing this deal by yourself, which I wouldn't recommend, it's extremely scary. It's lonely. It's frightening. There's boogeyman out there. However, if you have a syndicate, and many partners, everyone doing something in their area of expertise, now the risk is lower. You've got someone who's doing due diligence. You've got someone who does the legal stuff. You've got someone who does the marketing. You've got people who are skilled in their space working on this. The chances of success are much greater because you're having the right person do the right job so that the whole team wins and the whole property will become a successful venture. So food for thought and things to consider.
Yeah,
to you,
definitely. So I would like to bring another point to compare, like a management, right?
Yes.
So, and in the management, there's like the property management and the asset management. I break it down by two, sides, and so the property management of your property, investment property. So the property management is like a day-to-day operation. So let's say you have a bunch of different single-family house investments, right? So on single family houses, this is really often a fragmented, like an inefficient process because your properties are scattered locations, and so managing them across town means higher cost and more travel time. So you have no economies of scale, we just mentioned, right? And each tenant is like living apart, and and again, uh, the management cost per door is also higher. And if you want to hire a property management company for your single family investments, usually typically they goes up to 8 to 10%. So they just kind of taken
They want a
8 to
big cut.
10% from your revenue, not the profit, from your revenue, right? And so you're not really with the property management and all that stuff, and you're relying on third party contractors and the vendors for everything and all that stuff. And in the multifamily property, the operations are centralized and efficient. So let's say you have 10, 50, 100 units, whatever, in just a one location versus the single family homes is all across, scattered. So making it much easier to manage, and that this makes you like get the economies of scale. So from maintenance and marketing and all that stuff, it's just like a one centralized location. So your management fee per door is often much lower. Basically, typically, it just depends how many units you got, but typically 3 to 5% of the total revenue this time versus the
Right.
8 to 10. So, uh, well, if you have a large enough complex, let's say normally 80 to 90, and then you can have on-site staff, and you can have a leasing, officer and a
Yep.
property manager, and at your site all the time.
Right.
So this makes the response time the quicker from the tenants and all that stuff, and it makes the tenants more comfortable this way. And also with the multifamily, there's another advantage. You remember, I was broke down like by two, like a property management and the asset management. So
Yes.
with multifamily, you can be an asset manager of your own or your investors, the property investments. So that is like you can always have the opportunity to see the picture on a broader level. So we can come up like a strategic oversight, make a plans, and you're not in the box, right? You're not in the box. And so with the single family house, it's almost like impossible because you have to deal with the day-to-day operations every day, and then you don't have that kind of luxury to do that. So these are the really the big differences on the management side, and obviously to me, especially the multifamily investment has a lot of advantages on that. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah,
This was good.
and yeah. So another point is I want to talk about the tax benefits a little bit, and when I'm talking about the tax benefits, please keep in mind we're not professionals. Please do the disclaimer. Please do the disclaimer.
We are not legal professionals nor advice. If you want to get professional advice, please seek out your legal professional, your tax professional, and the people that do your accounting. Those are the people that can give you legal advice. This is for entertainment purposes only, and this is really just us giving you our insight, but this is not legal advice. There we go.
Yep. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. And okay, tax benefits.
Yes.
Tax benefits are another area where multifamily is like outshines single family investment. So it's a clear distinction in how we can use taxes to build wealth on
Yep.
multifamily. So let's say, let's start with the single family homes. So single family homes, the tax benefits are real but limited in scale. So you get to appreciate the building over 27 and a half years, right?
7.5.
But with only one unit, that's only one unit. Annual deduction is really small on that. And it's hard to generate enough depreciation to shelter your rental income. So let alone other passive or active income stuff. But with a multifamily, it's a completely different story. So you're still using this 27 and a half year depreciation schedule, but it applies to a much larger set, right? So that means a far bigger annual deduction. And this is where the real magic happens, the cost segregation. There's something like a cost segregation. With a multifamily property, it's just the this cost effective. First of all, you hire professionals for the tax stuff, right? And to study this cost segregation. So on the single family out, it's really cost the higher CPA and all that stuff because the income does not really support that. So and they study the cost segregation. So basically, this study like it breaks down the components of the building, like carpets, appliances, landscaping, all the fixtures, and all that stuff into shorter depreciation schedules of 7, 5, 7, 10 years. So this allows you to like a front load of a massive amount of depreciation. And especially with the recent tax changes, law changes these days, so you can often take even up to 100% bonus depreciation on these shorter lived assets. So creating a huge paper losses in year one that can offset your rental income. In many cases, so these losses are so large, they can completely eliminate your rental income for tax purposes, like giving you a cash flow with no tax bill, basically. So also for investors who qualify as real estate professionals, if you step into that field, these large passive losses can even be used for offset your W-2 incomes and earned incomes as well. But that's a different segment. So that's new beginners. That's the place the new beginners want to get in, right? So once you get in that professional level of real estate investment, then all those depreciation, you can use all those depreciations into your earned income as well. That's a huge the build wealth accelerator. So that's the
Accelerate is
tax.
the right word. Yeah, it's the right word because
Yeah.
they'll say it's not what you earn, it's what you keep. And this enables you to earn and keep. So you win from both ends. It's like, you're making money on both ends. You're earning more and you're also not losing any or losing less.
Mm-hmm.
It's a win-win.
Mm-hmm.
It is a win-win. But please go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. And just finally, I would just want to talk about when you do the 1031 exchange.
Mhm.
So since you have a bigger appreciation on the multifamily, that's like almost like another capital, tax-free capital you can carry into the next investment, right? So this tax benefits only itself, it's all like a one podcast topic, if you ask me. So, and one of those, upcoming podcasts, we should have like a real professional expert and on podcast, and we can go through from A to Z on this tax benefits. But we're just talking about here just the bullet points here. Again, we're not really experts, but this is what we're talking about, what we experienced personally, basically. So, I mean, these are the big differences comparison when you compare to the single family homes and the multifamily investments, and we're gonna keep doing it, but today, and these are the differences, big differences that I can share with you and our audience today.
Wonderful. Well, Selchuk, that was a pot of gold. That was so many nuggets. I like to call it audible gold. If anyone was listening, there was so much value that you just provided. If you're trying to start, if you're trying to get into this world, go back and listen to this podcast again and take some notes, because you may hear a word in there and have a question. If you have a question, reach out to us. Give us a question. We can answer it for you on the air. And I want to say, if you like this podcast, if this is adding value to your life and what you're doing, please like, subscribe, add, share, follow us for more tips and advice on our multifamily real estate journey, and become part of the Multifamillionaire family, because we want you to join the Multifamillionaire family and grow with us. So for Selcuk and Cheddy Matthews, I want to say thank you. Have a great day and stay amazing, folks. Bye for now.
Thank you.